All right, everybody. Hail and welcome back. Welcome back to the final episode of the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast, Season 2. My name's Jesse. This is a Midgard Musings production. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you're all doing well. Get into it. Right now, we're listening to a Donheim song. It's called Kala. And yeah, like I said, it is New Year's Eve today. So you guys and gals out here in Midgard, if you're tuning in and listening today, the next day that tomorrow, it's New Year's Eve. We're here in North America. You know, we're gearing up to give 2021 the old boot and give 2022 a hail and hello. So this podcast is going to be kind of it's going to be a combination of things. I told you guys last week that there would be something coming out as sort of like a state of the channel address. So that's what this podcast is going to include. A lot of you folks know that I have a YouTube channel, which is where a lot of folks watch these podcasts from. They premiere live every Thursday morning. So if you're, ever interested and want to see the video version of this, if you're a YouTuber and you like to, catch that, you can. If you're catching this on Spotify, Spotify also has a neat video feature as well. So you can catch the video version on Spotify and a number of other listening platforms for your podcast enjoyment. We've got iHeartRadio. We've now got Pandora. There's and then a bunch of others, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all other kinds. So I want to say today's podcast is going to be just kind of like a summation, as it were, of this year's production stuff. We're going to be talking about the future of the channel, which will include the podcast, but I want to kind of just give you all a heads up as to, what's coming down the pipeline. So without further ado, let's start the show and get into all that fun stuff. All right. Well, here we are. 40 episodes in season 2. We'll see what season 3 brings. And what kind of fun stuff we've got lined up. Oh, of course, I want to keep going on the same weekly cadence. That seems to be working out really well. It's definitely manageable, and see what kind of fun and awesome guests that we can have on here in the coming season. But for everybody that's, listening and watching right now, I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you want to see in season 3 first of all, for the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast? So if you want your voice to be heard, you can do that in a number of ways. You can write me an email, midgardmusingstn@gmail.com. That'll get you, a letter in, as it were, digital letter. Give me some of your thoughts, ideas, suggestions on what you'd like some of the podcast things to cover. If you want to send a voice message to me, you can do that through the anchor.fm or the Anchor app, which is my main platform that I distribute my podcasts on. So it goes up on Anchor and then it goes out to Spotify and all the rest of them. So you can send me a voice message there. You can download the Anchor app, look for Midgard Musings, look for Random Heathen Ramblings. You'll find me there. Follow me on that platform and shoot me a voice message. You are limited to a 1 minute time limit. So if you have an idea or a thought and you want to send it my way, you can do that and you'll be featured on a podcast. You can also call the Midgard Musings hotline, which is another, it's open 24/7. So you can just call in, leave a voicemail. That is a Google Voice number, and it's 615-671-9832. And your standard data rates will apply wherever you're dialing in from. I know I've got some folks across the pond, as it were, all over the world that catch this stuff. So for all of my European listeners, anywhere else in the world that you're listening, I think there might be some in the Asia Pacific region, Australia maybe. But wherever you guys are, if you want to call in and leave a message there, same thing. Even if it's just to say, hey, let me know what you think of the podcast, thoughts, ideas, suggestions, questions, things that are thought-provoking for you that you would like to see talked about here on a podcast. That's a great way to do it. So you got those options. If you don't want your voice heard, you can write me an email. You can always also at me on Twitter. You can direct message me there. You can also send me a message on Facebook. Even though Instagram, there is a Midgard Musings Instagram account, I don't monitor messages or anything. A lot of the stuff that I post there gets cross-posted over from the Facebook platform. So if you try to send a message to me on Instagram, I probably won't see it. Yeah, so Facebook and Twitter are the best ways. Email, of course, and the other voice options. So, and again, you have to excuse me if you notice I'm having a bit of a voice difficulty speaking myself. I'm just getting over like a head cold, upper respiratory congestion. It ain't the Rona, okay? It ain't Omicron or I'm a chameleon, karma chameleon, whatever it's called now. It was just, upper respiratory congestion. So I've been coughing a lot the last week or so, and I'm on like the tail end of it. So like my voice cracks in and out, and I'm getting kind of that, that deep raspy kind of thing. So there's that. You'll have to just pardon me for this episode, but I did not want to let that stop me. I can still obviously talk just fine, or fine enough. So anyway, it is the eve before New Year's Eve. So it's New Year's Eve at the time of this broadcast, where you guys are catching it. So let's talk a bit about the state of the channel. Since a lot of folks that are catching this are going to be seeing it on YouTube. And there has not been a lot of other content going up on YouTube now for the last several months, really. Not regularly. I used to post, excuse me, I used to post regular videos over on the channel, obviously. I would post regular videos, usually on a weekly basis, but they were losing their cadence. They were like, some days I'd post on a Friday, some days I'd live stream on a Saturday, some days I'd post videos on a Sunday or a Monday. There was no real schedule, rhyme or reason, and I was struggling to get that under wraps, to have a regular cadence. So you guys out here that do watch the YouTube videos and enjoy that stuff, get it on a regular basis, and on a consistent basis. That way, every week at whatever time, whatever day, there'll be something that comes out. So in what's taken over with that regular cadence of things is this podcast, which is a lot of fun. It works better for me just because of my work schedule. It doesn't take up as much of my time in post edit, because this is a very raw, very, very real, very, you see what you get what you see. And there's not a lot of work afterwards that goes into it. The reason that's kind of gone down, as far as like regular videos that come out here that I pre-record and upload about heathenry related things, largely the large reason for that is because the laptop that I work off of, that I have my video editing software on, is very, very slow, right? It's older, and it's going to take me a while to clean it up or to do something to get it fixed. The software that I use, the video editing software, is outdated. There's not even any support for it anymore. And any new video editing software that I get is not going to be supported on the machine that I'm using. It is a Windows laptop. It's a Dell, Latitude, whatever. I don't know. And I, oddly enough, I work in IT and stuff, and so I get it. I work on a machine that's way better. My work machine is way better than my personal machine. So unless I can afford to get a new personal laptop, that's just not really in the card. It hasn't been in the cards to get anything like that. There's been other more pressing matters, financial things that come up that require attention. I have to get my car fixed, all these kinds of day-to-day life stuff, that I just don't have the expendable income right now to get a new machine, to get new video editing software and all that kind of stuff. So that's why those videos have been tapering off. I'm very limited with how much, because once I record a video, it might be a 20-minute long video, but it'll take me 3 hours, 4 hours in post edit to work on it. My machine will crash and the software crashes, and it's very frustrating. So all that being said, I've just not been too keen on wanting to do much with that and spend more time with that stuff during the week. Now, I do realize that everybody that, of course, subscribes to my channel and is a paid member of the channel expects certain things out of this channel and expects certain things out of me. And we're going to get into that. That's part of this whole state of the channel thing. But I wanted to start the state of the channel address with saying kind of why those other videos, non-podcast related videos, have dwindled and have not been that frequent anymore. That's largely, dude, that's the large reason why. My machine just can't handle, my personal machine that I use to edit videos and all that kind of stuff the way I want to do it. It takes more time. That there's always time that is needed in post edit. You can't avoid that. But if I had a better machine, I had an upgraded machine, I'd be able to do it much more efficiently, much quicker. So that's the reason. So let's get into some of the things that I have set up that are ways for this channel to be supported. And I tell everybody that, the paid memberships for YouTube, the Patreon subscriptions, the merchandise that you buy and all that kind of stuff is very helpful for the growth of this channel, because the things that I just mentioned, right? Need to get another computer, need to get better video editing software, whatnot. Those things can and will cost money. So what support I can get monetarily from folks, to the best that I'm able to, is save up for getting those types of things that are for this channel. So for my patrons that pay a monthly Patreon pledge, that money is used or set aside rather to help save up. Same way with merchandise, and same way with the YouTube channel members. So yes, you are helping support this channel, and even though things haven't exactly been happening that I have stated would happen in those memberships, like for instance the Patreon thing, for those that are patrons right now, the patron tiers that you pay for, at the very base level, you get a shout out in the end credits. You get your name in the end credits of my videos, which again have been minimal to not really existent here in the last several months. The next level, you get rune draws every month, which have also dwindled because of other things, which I'll be getting into here shortly. And then like the highest level is you get all that other stuff, plus you get a discount on a handmade rune set from me that you can cash in on at any point in time. If you want a rune set, want to gift one, you get a huge discount, excuse me, off of that. One thing that's just recently been added to the patron tiers is the highest level Patreon pledge that you can make. It's a $35 monthly pledge. You would get, end credits in videos. You get rune draws every month. You get the discount for the rune set, and then you get merchandise sent to you quarterly for a year. So every 3 months, there's 4 items that you end up with. You get a shirt, you get a hoodie, you get a coffee mug, and I think you get a long sleeve t-shirt. So you get like a short sleeve t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, a hoodie, and a coffee mug. And those 4 items are spread out quarterly. So every 3 months you get a new item, and that is what comes with your, it's called the Aesir tier. It's the highest of the highest level. That's recently been added. Because again, the closer I can get to my goal of getting better equipment and all that kind of stuff, the sooner I'm able to get back into doing those other types of videos and beyond just podcasts. Excuse me. All right, so let's see. That's the Patreon thing. The YouTube channel membership. With the YouTube channel members, I know a lot of folks that catch these podcasts don't necessarily catch them live, but for any of my YouTube channel members, people that have, paid for the different tiers or different membership levels, they're still in place, but they have changed slightly. Your entry level, your first level of support, you get priority responses. You get an emoji that appears next to your name, or a symbol, a special Midgard Musings symbol that appears next to your name that gives you priority over everyone in live chats whenever I'm premiering a live video or streaming live, if I ever do that. The next level above that used to be that you would get the video format of these episodes, of these podcast episodes, and you would get early access to them. So even though the videos are free now, what I've done and what I've adjusted for that tier is that instead of having to wait until Thursday morning to get them, YouTube channel members that pledge or pledge, I guess, that amount gets the video version of the podcast before anybody else, and I'm talking like days ahead of it. So instead of getting the video premiering live on YouTube on Thursday mornings, you're getting them like Monday nights usually is when you'd get them. So you get the first video sent to you. Only you'll be able to see it at that level. And then you get the other, previous, you get the emoji thing, and then the top tier channel member, with like king level or whatever. I think it's like I forget how it's labeled or how it's named. It's let me look in here and see. I'll tell you guys. There's the friend level, which just gives you the emojis and the special symbols and the priority replies in live chats and stuff. The chieftain or chieftess level is the one above that gets you all that early access to videos and to early access to video podcasts. So like, for instance, when I start putting out regular content that are not podcasts, you guys get those videos before I premiere them. So if a video is scheduled to be, premiered live on a Tuesday afternoon, you'd get it days in advance. You'd see it first before anybody sees it. The next level, which is like the king/queen level, is the highest level that we've got right now on YouTube. And that one comes with all those previous perks, plus a monthly members exclusive live stream. So I don't stream live much on YouTube anymore in real time, but the highest level YouTube channel members will get a monthly live stream where it's just me and them. So anybody that pledges at that level on YouTube, on the YouTube channel membership, community members, whatever, you get to join me on a live stream where it's like, only you guys and gals. That's been in place, but I haven't had the time to be able to do that. So when those dates are coming, I will let everybody know. But you have to be a YouTube channel member at that level in order to know. It'll happen probably on a weekend evening. It'll be a 1 hour long live stream, and it'll be once a month, and it'll happen like whatever it is, whether it's the first Friday of every month or the third Saturday of every month, whatever that might be. That will be announced in the YouTube channel members community, only visible to those channel members. So if you're interested and you want to be on a live stream with me, you're going to have to click the link to join the channel at that level. And that'll be starting next month. That'll be starting in January, and it'll be a monthly recurring thing. It'll happen the same time every month. It'll be the same thing. Like I said before, whether it's the third Saturday of the month or the second Friday of the month or the fourth Friday of whatever, it'll be that time every month, that date and that time every month. It's never going to change. So that's what you can expect for that. So that covers Patreon, that covers your YouTube channel members. And those are optional things that you guys can do to help initially support the channel. There's always going to be merchandise. I've recently added a whole lot more merchandise in the Midgard Musings spring store. So you'll notice when you go to the spring store, there will be Donheim items. There'll be shirts, hoodies, men's, women's, children's sizes, all colors and styles that feature Midgard Musings, the Midgard Musings bind rune, that you see right up here. And additionally, we'll have Donheim artwork featured on them. So we've got, sweatpants, leggings, jogging pants, whatever. We've got hoodies, we've got shirts. We'll get to doing baby onesies here soon as well. So that's another way that you can help support, because every time you buy merchandise, I make a percentage of that, and you obviously will be helping support the channel in that way. So that's exciting stuff to add as well, as far as, what's going on with the channel. The rest of it, all of my social media posts, nothing's changed. My Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all going to stay the same. That's all still out there. I still make rune sets. If you're interested in purchasing a rune set, they are going to be either birch wood or driftwood, depending on what you like. And if you are interested in that, you can contact me through social media, send me an email, and payments are accepted via PayPal. I think I have a couple other methods. I know I've got a Cash App or Venmo or whatever, but PayPal seems just to work best. Helps me keep things separated from my personal finances for my personal life, my day job stuff versus the channel and podcast related things. So for those that have continued to, support Midgard Musings and the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast by staying subscribed as a YouTube channel member, by paying those monthly pledge dues, and by being patrons on Patreon, I want to just say a special thank you to you folks. I know the last several months, really even more than that, it's been dodgy, and I know a lot of folks have rightfully so, canceled their memberships or canceled their Patreon pledges, and that's fine. I don't require anybody to do that. You guys do it out of the generosity and kindness of your hearts, and I greatly appreciate that. It really keeps me motivated to want to do things. So let's get into the reasons why, things have been dodgy a bit. I told you before about the technical aspects of it, where my laptop isn't the greatest. It's an older laptop, and then the software that I use for editing my videos is old as well. And it's not even a software that's currently supported by Microsoft or Windows or anybody. So aside from the technical reasons, ever since July of this year, things have been pretty rocky. Um, when I say rocky, I mean like there's just been a lot of challenging things in my life. Um, my wife's brother passed away very tragically, took his life in July. The plans for my wife and I to go visit my family in New York were derailed. And that happened in a very, you know, I guess I shouldn't say unexpected way, but the way that it was derailed was, because my family is against me for what I believe in and how I, you know, my religious views. Me being pagan is something that they have finally reached an impasse with me on, and have decided that they no longer wish to have anything to do with me. This extends to the fact that my sister and her husband had their newborn baby at the end of June, and we were planning to come up and visit and meet my niece. They told me that we were not welcome because they don't want their daughter around, as they put it, someone like me. And I know that that my videos get seen because the discussions that I've had with some of my family members have been around what I share on social media and on my channels. So they listen, they watch, they see, and that's great. I have nothing to hide, and I am real, and I am very proud of who I am and the life that I've chosen to live. I may not agree, or they may not agree with me, and I may not agree with them on various things, but I respect them for their decision, and I respect that as much as I may not like it, they are within their rights to be as devout in their beliefs as I am in mine. So as difficult as it has been to accept those things, that has also been one of the reasons or one of the challenges that have come up this year, aside from death in the family and people in my family who have severed ties or have shunned me, and dealing with some of the emotional stress and stuff of that. So because of those things early on in the year, midsummer, right? My attention and my focus have been drawn inward. My wife's brother's death, as severely tragic as it was, has left a very deep wound in her heart, and one that she will never fully recover from. And it's still to this day something that we have to work through, and then she has to battle with. And so all of my extra time and effort for the last several, the months following all that, of course, the weeks following it were very, very difficult. We were doing a lot of things with the immediate family, and funerals and visitations and belongings of things, and all the kind of stuff that just comes with dealing with a death of a family member. Following all that, and it has a ripple effect. It has a domino effect. Things like that impact your life forever. And some people deal with tragedy and grief differently. So between her and I, and the way we deal with grief, there was that. So there was the events that took place at the end of June, beginning of mid July, and then we're going to fast forward a couple of months to September. And I'm thinking, okay, we're starting to like, what's the word, get back to normal, as it were. It's been a couple of months dealing with that tragedy. Here we are back to our normal lives. We went on a mini vacation, found out, let's just say, let me back up and say we were September. Oh, so the mini vacation happened at the end of July. It was like the week after Zach had passed, Vanessa's brother, my wife's brother. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember like time frames of things. So anyway, that whole thing happened. We went on a mini vacation. We went out to East Tennessee, Gatlinburg, stayed up there for a few days. Fast forward into the early fall, and found out that we were pregnant. Um, Ran into some complications, and we're not able to keep the baby. So then there was that loss to deal with, a very tragic loss felt by both of us. So when when I talk about the cadence of things, and talk about doing these videos, these podcasts and stuff like that, I'm really lucky to have been able to keep a consistent approach with with the podcast over all this time, but the other videos, taking the time after to post edit on a machine that doesn't barely work and using software that's outdated. It just my heart wasn't in it. So that takes us from July into September. And again, it was only a few months after the tragedy took place where the next tragedy hit, having to lose the baby. The pregnancy was not gonna last. There was medical health safety issues that were at stake, where it would have not been good to continue the pregnancy. There were major health concerns at stake. So, getting into the fall and autumn months, it was all of that tragedy. I didn't handle it well, and she was struggling too. So between all that, we were difficult to live with and difficult to be around, and the emotional strain and the emotional toll that took place. And I know I'm going off into the weeds a bit about whole things, but it's part of, you guys expect certain things from me and you're not getting them. Here's why. May not seem like much for people to, well, I didn't get my monthly rune draw for 4 or 5 months or whatever. My mind was elsewhere, guys. My heart was elsewhere, and I'm just being upfront and honest about it all. So wanting to clear all that up and let you know that going forward, you can expect better. I went on a very important spiritual retreat, spiritual cleansing journey over the fall, or the weekend of my birthday. Actually, I've talked about it here on the podcast with my Gothi and my Law Speaker members of my tribe. These guys, are brothers to me. We went on a spiritual journey and reset everything about us on that journey, and the things that took place on that exodus, as it were, or during that camping trip, helped reset a lot of things for me. So all of that pain, all that tragedy, all that hurt, it was, a lot of dusty shelves were cleared, and a lot of old cables were yanked out of motherboards, and things were literally just reset. It was a hard reset for me, and it was a necessary one. And that brings me into right around the Thanksgiving time frame, and now here we are at the end of December. So my perspective on things, having been newly refreshed, helps me deal with other things that happen in our lives, some of the tough things, and I'm not as easily derailed as I once were. And I feel like I'm in a better position now to handle those things. So fortunately, those tough times, helped temper me into a more valuable person to my people, to my loved ones, to my wife, to my brothers of my tribe, to my kin and kith around me, and I feel like it was a worthing process. It was a time for adversity to breed worth within me, and let the people around me know that I went through these things, and it didn't destroy me. So what can we expect for the 2022 Midgard Musings thing. So what you guys can expect is the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast will continue. Season 3 will be starting, well, next week, you know. Excuse me. Don't know yet, you know, guests and stuff like that. We definitely want to bring more folks on, and would love to hear from the listeners and the viewers, all of you fine folks as well. If you have ideas that you want to get on a podcast and be a guest, you can write in to the podcast, write into me, midgardmusingstn@gmail.com. And we'll set something up, you know, get on a call and talk about some things, and possibly have you on as a guest. But there'll be that. It'll happen. It'll continue to happen every week unless there's, like, you know, other major things that come up that I'm like, you know, the power's out, or, you know, got to travel somewhere to deal with something, or any other like major life-changing events. But the podcast will be recurring every week, Thursday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern time. They'll be up there. The videos, what I want to continue to do, non-podcast related videos. There are some playlists here on the channel, on the YouTube channel, deity discussions. I'd like to reintroduce that and do a deity discussion video on a god, goddess, whether they're a, you know, Aesir, Vanir, Jotun, whatever. Have a deity discussion video once a month. I know a lot of people like those, and I enjoy them too. I enjoy learning about the gods and goddesses that we, you know, that we read stories about and that we choose to venerate in our own ways, you know. And I have some videos on old deity discussion videos that I want to revisit because they're several years old, and, you know, maybe my ideas at the time were not well thought out, or my research was not as solid, you know. So having looked back, sorry about that, blowing my nose in front of you guys. But my research wasn't as strong back then as it is now, and maybe I got some things to reconsider and look at. So definitely going to be doing deity discussion videos once a month. There's also the Broggy's Corner, the storytelling stuff that I did with telling different stories from the lore. I'd like to do them, maybe not every month, but, you know, maybe every couple of months or whatever, you know, get a story and deliver it in my own way, you know, and do it in like a video storytelling thing. I think that will be fun. So there's that. And as far as like the other stuff, the other educational things of how I view my heathenry, or, you know, where my worldview on heathenry, that's going to just kind of come and go. May have a video here or there. But I don't have anything that I can concrete tell you right now at this time that, yes, you will get new non-podcast related videos every Wednesday afternoon, or every Thursday night, or every Saturday morning, you know, because, and it goes back again to the technical aspects of it, you know, just the post editing and stuff of those videos. If I can find a way around it and work a way around it, which I'm definitely going to consider, then I will. But, you know, with my lifestyle, with my job and things like that, there may be bigger things coming for me here soon as well in that arena. You know, so I may be tied up with that. So I don't want to make a commitment to any of you folks out there as far as, you know, putting too much on my plate. The podcasts are regular videos that you'll be hearing from me, you know, on the podcast platforms and here on YouTube. You'll get that every week at least, and you'll get the deity discussion videos once a month. Patrons, people that have been, you know, maintaining their patronage through Patreon, your rune draws will continue. They will be starting up at the beginning of January. So here in a few days, you know, this is coming up on, you know, New Year's Eve. So, you know, the first full week of January or so, you guys, after the first of the year, for those that are patrons on Patreon, you'll expect an email with me, from me, with your monthly rune draw for that month. So they will be coming to you every month on time. That's something that will not change. And I appreciate your support in that. And I will be sure to remember to thank all of my patrons like I'm doing right now. Thank you all in all of my videos, whether they're a podcast or whatever, because you guys take your hard-earned money and you put it towards me and helping this channel continue and helping me save up for things to make the channel better. So I do greatly appreciate your support in that way. If you're interested and you're not a patron and you want to know more, the Linktree link that's posted in the show notes and in the description area of this video on YouTube, wherever you're getting this podcast from, however you're receiving it, the information is posted in the show notes or the description area, and it's a Linktree link. And if you click on that Linktree link, it's going to take you to a page that has all of my information. It has the link, it has the patron page, it has all the social media stuff. It has the merchandise store link. It's all there. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening, guys. And I think that pretty much covers it. Again, with so much of what happened over the last 6-7 months, it required it required a break for me, and I kept trying to do things that kept you guys interested and kept you guys coming here. Mainly this podcast was the way for me to do that, because I got other people involved. It was very engaging. There was a lot of interest to it. It's grown a lot. This year has been an amazing year. 2021, let me just say, has been an amazing year of growth for this podcast, and I'm excited to see what 2022 will bring for it, because if we got 40 episodes in 2021, despite all of the challenges, maybe we get season 3, we get a full 50 some odd or 50 episodes in. That would be cool. And that would be, that's a reasonable goal, I think. So but yeah, there will definitely be some updates coming along the way, so if you guys want to follow me on my social media, YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, of course, follow me on Twitter, like the Facebook page, follow me on Instagram. I try to share everything on all those platforms that are relevant. Sometimes I miss one, and that's just something I got to get better at and not neglect one over the other. But yeah, any updates that are coming out will be shared on all those social media platforms. And if anything big is coming, I'll try to talk about it here. So some things that are big that are coming, or fun or exciting or whatever for me. Recently, I worked with Josh Kroom, who's been on this podcast before, and he wrote a song, an original piece, that is it's for Midgard Musings. I just got the final mix of it, the production mix, so up till just the other day. I think the last podcast I was talking about it. Yeah, last week's podcast I was talking about it, waiting for that final mix to come back from the producers and stuff. Well, I finally got it back yesterday. It sounds absolutely amazing. But I'm holding off on sharing it out with the world just yet, because I have something special planned that I would like to get done sometime in January. So we've got the song now. It's finished. Of course, Josh will probably be releasing it at some point soon too on his his musical project Skogamore. Link for that will be posted down below or in the show notes, so you can kind of follow him. I think he's on Spotify and some other music streaming sites. But yeah, that song is awesome, and I've got a neat idea on how I want to release it to the world. So it'll be released here on YouTube, and it will become something that you hear on future podcasts, at least partially. It's a about 2.5 minute long song, so it'll be something that you hear portions of at least for like the intro music, like we have our intro music and stuff um, at the beginning of every episode, but it'll be something that's used as an intro piece, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for you guys to hear it. It was a collaborative effort. Josh started with something. Just basically, I told him, like, here's kind of what I was thinking of. Gave him some very, very basic, blueprints to work off of. He started with something, and it worked, and it just organically grew from there. He let me listen to it. I was like, yes, this, but more of that, or less of this and some of that. Work at this into it, and then he came back with some other fresh ideas. Ravens, horns blowing, hammers hitting anvils, like all kinds of neat stuff. Sick track, and I love it. And it really, I feel, captures the mood of Midgard Musings, of what this what I am trying to deliver, and it does. It's perfect. And I think the imagery that I want to capture for this song, that's part of the project that I want to work on before releasing it or having it, share it with the world, as it were. So hopefully, times of because it's going to require me coordinating some things with other people, and all of our times are going to have to line up. So we're going to coordinate that probably, later on this weekend, and figure out when we can do it, and then release it sometime in January. That's my hope. So that's a big new exciting thing. We got, new music coming out for Midgard Musings, written specifically for Midgard Musings, by a good friend, great guy. So yeah, there's that. And we'll see what else happens. I do want to give some very special shout outs, whatever, to some important people who have been with me personally in my life to some degree or some extent for a while, and then some people that have been very important in guests on the channel or on the podcast, right? So it's time to kind of give you guys your due notice, or whatever. I don't know the right way of putting it, but anyway, first person I want to give a shout out to, we already did that, was Josh Kroom, for writing that song. You guys check his stuff out, and links for his outdoor business, Father of the Wolves Outdoors, I think it's called. That'll be linked down in the show notes, and in the description, as well as for his musical project, Skargamore. And check that out. So thank you, Josh, for being awesome, for doing that, and being an awesome contributor to this channel, to this podcast, being a great friend. You're awesome. So thank you. Next person I want to give a shout out to is J.M. Olefson, Velveteer Workshop. JM has been friends with me now for at least the last couple of years, and I was recently got the distinct honor of visiting him and his wife and children at their mountain home in North Carolina. Wonderful, wonderful people, beautiful home, beautiful property, beautiful family, and just amazing craftsmanship. By the way, I own a number of JM's pieces, our tribal drum, our tribal elk bone rune set. I've got a personal candle holder with an incense burner that he made a while back. I've got a flask with the Midgard Musings bind rune that his wife Cindy made. There's some other items that I've got that he gave to me for whatchamacallit, for gifts for members of my tribe, for our Yule coming up. So big shout out to J.M. Olefson. He has been on the channel, a couple of times. He's been on this podcast as well. So thank you, my friend, for being awesome. Thank you for all the great wisdom that you share, and thank you for your craftsmanship. Thank you for your beautiful work, and contributing to our tribal relics. Next person I wanted to give a shout out to is Matt Petrie. Matt Petrie from Odin's Beard Woodworking. This year and in the years past, Matt has provided his craftsmanship and his handiwork, his god poles, his carvings, his wood carvings. You know, I own several of his pieces. I own a 7-8 inch tall Thor. I've got a 5 to 6 inch tall Odin. I've got one of his very first Freyr pieces that's about 3 to 4 inch. I think about 4 to 5 inches tall, somewhere around there. Got some necklaces and stuff that I've had, rune sets. He's made rune sets. He's done a lot for this channel. He's done a lot for this podcast in terms of providing goods to sell that he didn't see much return on, if anything. He donated. He made things and donated to this channel to help raise money for causes. We were at one point earlier in this year on the Midgard Musings live stream. We did a fundraiser for my in-laws to help raise money for a deposit, a down payment on their home for them to move in next door. A lot of the reasons why we were able to reach our goal is because Matt from Odin's Beard Woodworking provided crafts for us to auction off or to sell off, basically. And the money that we raised from selling those items helped my in-laws out. We also did giveaways, things that he made that were giveaway items. Just a phenomenal person. He's got a beautiful family. We've never met in person, not yet, but I would love to make time one day to make it up to Vermont and spend time with Matt and his wife and kids, and get to meet in person. He does a lot of great work in the mental health community with his Heirs Embrace Facebook group. Always, posting reminders to, take your meds, and we are loved and we are stronger than our battles, and all these things that I see that are happening in the mental health community that Matt really takes charge and leads, because he battles with those things, and we all battle with various mental health sometimes. Mental health issues. It's a very real thing, and Matt doesn't shy away from it, and he's out there. So I want to give a big shout out to Matt and thank him for everything that he's done, not just for me, but for everyone in the community across the world. He's great. Please check out the description and show notes area for all of Matt's information. Follow him on Facebook. Buy something from the guy. Order a god pole. Get him to carve something for you. He does amazing work. Similarly, I want to give a shout out to my good friend Patrick Walsh, who's been on this podcast and on the channel a number of times. He's been a very vocal person in my life, always saying thank you for what I do, sharing information and stuff. He's you're one of the first people or channels or whatever that I came across that have helped me in my heathenry and learning and things like that. But he's been here to share his thoughts on things. He's a big fan of Heilung, has seen them a number of times. Going to be seeing them again next year, I'm sure, when they come tour North America. But he's been on here. He's also a great supporter of Matt's work as well, and is in the Heirs Embrace group and stuff. So big shout out to Patrick Walsh, my good friend, Patrick Walsh, for just being awesome and always saying thank you for what I do, and so thank you for what you do. Thank you for your support. I want to give a special shout out to Dingo, my good friend, and Gothi, my brother. We've been through a lot of stuff together, man. And you've helped moderate these chats a lot of times. You've taken time out of your day to come on this podcast several times and just talk about things, So thank you so much for just being you and being my friend and being my brother and being someone who I can lean on, and just talk about things. Thanks for turning me on to great bourbons and great whiskeys, man. And thank you to my law speaker, Patrick, the other Patrick. He's been a very silent but powerful resource in my life. I don't talk much about him, but he's kind of that person in the background that is very important in my life, and important to the development and the growth of our tribe. So I want to say thank you to him, for being awesome and for being a part of this. Love him. Love you both. Love all these guys. Love everybody. I have a special place in my heart for each of you. But thank you. Next one I'm going to do, and we're almost done. Next one I want to give a shout out to is Eric Shervin. Eric Wordweaver Shervin from the Ravens Call. If you guys aren't familiar with the Ravens Call yet, I'm surprised because I've talked enough about him. If anybody listens to my show and watches my stuff, then you need to be watching Eric's show. He puts out his videos usually every Wednesday morning early. I think they premiere around 4 a.m. just because he's up at the butt crack of dawn, and he's a busy man, but he always finds time to put up content, even if it's not every week. It's always on Wednesday morning. So check his channel out, The Ravens Call. His information will be posted down in the show notes as well, and in the description. So be sure to subscribe to his channel, follow him on the word weaving community on Facebook. It'll be linked down there or over there or anywhere over there, wherever it is, it'll be linked. So check it out. And thank him because he hasn't been on the podcast. He's been on the channel. He's actually one of the ones that came up on the 3-year channel anniversary for Midgard Musings. Everybody got on a call together, and big conference call, and big chat room or whatever, and we all streamed live, and he was there for it. And he's helped me a lot in my heathenry growth, and how I view the world has been a lot due to his knowledge of heathenry, and has helped spark things in my mind, start researching and looking for things. So big shout out to Eric. Thank you for what you've done. And even though we missed each other this year because of the things that I talked about earlier, we were actually supposed to meet up earlier this year, and it didn't happen because of all that other stuff. 2022 though, we'll be there, coming out to Texas. Midgard Musings is coming to Texas. My wife and I will be coming out there, and we're going to see you. So maybe film some content together out there, which would be awesome. So got that. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you to Robert Sass from the Altsadu group on Facebook, the Altsadu Saxon Heathenry group. Very knowledgeable fella. He gets a lot of crap out here from some of the True folks. I got nothing bad to say about the guy from my interactions with him. He's been on this podcast before, and I'd love to have him back again. But he's got a great community on Facebook. It's called Altsadu. His information will be, or that group information will be posted down in the description and in the show notes and all that as well. But I want to give a shout out to him, because he took time out of his schedule this year to come on and talk and share, some information and knowledge. I think one of the last ones I've got is one of my most recent guests is Topher Henry, president of TAC, the True community. Once again, this bind rune that you see right here, the double manas rune, bind rune, that branding, that logo exists because of Topher. One of my first, unboxing videos, I got something in the mail from him, and he had sent a wood burned medallion with that symbol on there, and that's where it all started. That's where the Midgard Musings got our logo from. It was from him. So thank you for all the things that you do for the pagan community, for the heathen community, and thank you for being on the show, and looking forward to maybe having you back on as well, talk about some things coming up for things that TAC is doing and whatnot in 2022. Thank you to Wyatt Coverdale, who was just on last week's episode. If you guys missed that, just go back in my video catalog or the last week's podcast. Just check the last one for the one that features Wyatt. Wyatt's been a supporter of this channel almost since day one. As he's the youngest person that I know of that engages on the channel regularly. So appreciate his support. and always sharing some really interesting and cool things here on our channel. So thank you, Wyatt, for that. Thank you to the guys at NANS, Lance and Liam and Lee and everybody over there at NANS, North American Nordic Society, or Northern American Nordic Society. Liam was on a podcast here not all that long ago. They're doing great things up in the Pacific Northwest area of the United States. So shout out to those guys, and thank you for your support and what you've been able to bring here on this podcast and to Midgard Musings and to the people all around the world. And for everybody that I didn't mention, all of the subscribers, all of my listeners, all of my followers, all of my friends, all of my supporters out here, 2021 has been a great year of growth for this channel and for this podcast. And it's all thanks to you. I could be sitting here talking into a microphone and talking into a camera and not talking to anybody, and it wouldn't mean anything more than just that. But I am sitting here talking to you, and you are taking the time out of your day to listen and to be a part of it. And the growth has been because of all of you. So thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for a great season 2 of the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast. I look forward to bringing more engaging, exciting, fun, and entertaining content for you all here coming into 2022. And with that being said, this will conclude season 2. Season 3 is coming up in 2022. I'm looking forward to everything that I can, bring for you all. And again, I just want to say thank you. I can't say it enough. I can't stress it enough. Everybody's involvement, everybody that I included by name specifically, especially, and everybody else that I maybe didn't mention by name, you all still mean a great deal, and you've done a lot to help this channel and this platform grow. Basically, I'm saying that I'm here because of you. So you all stay healthy out there, stay well. For those that have are continuing their Yuletide celebrations, into the coming weeks, like myself and my tribe and anybody else that's still celebrating their Yule, God Yule, Glad Yule, and, have a great new year, everybody, because by the next time I come around here, it'll be 2022 and its first episode of season 3. So I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to seeing you all there. Stay safe, stay healthy. And until we talk again, may the gods and your ancestors walk with you, and may your hearth fires always burn bright. Thank you all.